Hello, hello, hello.
What's going on?
Hey, I've been doing this "Hey Now," and my
Hey
wife is
now.
laughing at me because Stern does that. So she told me I have to come up with my own thing, and I think she said to do like "chicka chicka boom boom" or something. I don't know what it was, but she's always giving me good ideas. So welcome everyone to the midweek sports update. I know a lot of people were tuning into the Phillies this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and rain delay, but I can give you updates. I appreciate you tuning into me instead of and Duncan and Ted and Nick instead of the Phillies. But Bryce, I'll get into it in a second. But Bryce Harper looks like he's locked in. He hit a double in the second inning. If Bryce Harper's locked in, it's all over, man.
Watch out.
Welcome to the midweek sports update. I am AJ. Real quick, let me pay the bills. Talk about our sponsor, Digital Lux 22. If you are a podcaster, if you're a business person, if you got a gigantic corporation or you're just a one-man band and you need help with your digital footprint, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, your website, showing up on page one when people are actually looking for services that you offer, Digital Lux 22 is the company that you want to reach out and contact. www.digitallux22.com. I know these people. I've worked with these people. I've worked with people who've worked with these people. Absolutely give them a call, and we appreciate them sponsoring the show. Also, welcome to No Filter. If this is your first time on No Filter, thanks for coming. This is an absolutely great place, and I need to start spreading the word more on my Twitter, my personal Twitter, which is at the AJJ Show on Twitter. But I have a huge conservative following on Twitter, and
I didn't know those existed.
they do. There's a huge conservative following on Twitter, and they follow me. And I know everybody and their brother. They either get censored or kicked off of Twitter for basically posting the truth. I mean, we don't really talk about. I try to avoid politics on this show, but all the stuff that I saw today about the vaccines. That's insane that they knew that the vaccines were never tested on anyone, and they knew it wasn't going to stop anything. People are sharing it, and they're getting their posts taken down, their accounts suspended. So, No Filter is a great place where you can actually speak your mind, whatever you want to talk about. Even if you want to come on, you want to talk about how great the New York Mets are, the New York Jets are.
Hey, I got a boom. You know, when you say it, we gonna play it, baby.
No one's gonna take you down. So this is a perfect place for Nick the Flick right here. There's a chat button down at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that chat button, you can join the chat and you can comment and you can ask questions and you can go back and forth with one another. There's also a knock button down at the bottom of your screen. If you want to come on, if you want to talk to us, if you have questions, if you have things that you can contribute to the conversation, please feel free to knock and
come on in.
we'll hear you.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
You got it. Volume's good there. All right, cool. And follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the BBSN. Okay. And my guests, let me introduce my guests. I mean, everyone, I'll go from, see your screen, everybody has a different looking screen. So I got Nick, and then I got Ted, and I got Duncan to my right, and when I watch the show back on the replay, it looks nothing like how it looks on my screen right now, and stuff floats around. And then Duncan, there's all kinds of settings in here too where it can rotate. I'm sure you've probably used that before. Whoever talks, that's the only person that's on the screen.
Yep.
Anyway, the Dunkin Dad, and I think Nick had a question for you.
Mr. Mr. Duncan, you got to let me know, Mr. Duncan, how did that name come about?
So I don't know who's in the chat, but when I was a youngster, my father worked for Motorola, so we moved a lot. But every time that we would come back to the East Coast for holidays, city stuff like that, my uncle, since passed, and my other uncle, they would always bring like boxes of Dunkin' Donuts, the boxes of Joe or whatever. So it sort of resonated with me as sort of like this little nostalgia, homage, homecoming. Everything felt really good. And then as I got older, it just kept popping up and popping up and popping up. So I sort of have this attachment to it, and then had kids. And obviously, it's like, I still wanted the Dunkin' Donuts coffee, wanted the Dunkin' Donuts mug. I started getting shirts. I started getting thermoses. Before they changed their name, over, I went out and I got one of the old-fashioned boxes. Tons of stuff. I've got the Boston Marathon a couple years ago. They hooked up with Saucony, and they made a running shoe, a Dunkin' running shoe, first edition or whatever. So
you ran the marathon?
No. No, I didn't run.
Yeah,
I didn't
he
run,
ran
no.
the Dunkin' Donuts.
I ran the Dunkin' Donuts. No, but I got I've got those shoes, got the socks, got the T-shirts. But it's one of those feel good things that kind of stuck. And now my littlest one, she'll run around and she'll be like, "You got to do your show, Dunkin Dad. You're the Dunkin Dad." So
that's right. Awesome, dude.
Nice. Yeah, it's great.
After talking to him for about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month, maybe longer than that, I said, "Dude, is your name Duncan? What's your name?" And he told me what his name was, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember. It's like Bill or
Mario,
or Lori or Cindy, Jan, Marsha. I have no idea, but
it is a Brady. It's Mike.
It's Mike Brady. Okay,
right.
Brady. John, but.
Yeah.
So the Dunkin Dad has got shows pretty much around the clock. This guy's like Ryan Seacrest. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12:15 Eastern time every single day. It's a news, sports, current events, commentary, what's on your mind. It's great at lunch. It's great for breakfast if you're on the West Coast. If you're on the other part of the globe somewhere, I don't know what the frig you're doing where you are at whatever time, but check out that show. And Duncan also does one of the most fun shows I've ever participated in on Friday nights. It's after the Tony Bruno show. So it's whenever the Tony Bruno show ends, and it goes until the wheels fall off, basically. It's the Into the Nightcap show. And Duncan's part of the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, and we're excited to have him. So
absolutely. Love it.
Duncan, guest number 1. Guest number 2 is my man straight. So how did this work? It's Ted Brooks right there in the middle of my screen anyway. Last week we saw you were in Guantanamo on death row, and now you got a Hawaiian shirt. And I mean, did you escape? Did they break you out? What's going on, man?
Well, I'm just enjoying the Cuba sun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Ted is part of the Sports Profits. Ted gives us a weekly Bleacher Brother exclusive NCAA football. I'm calling it a lock because so far everything he's given us says, I know you hate that word, but everything that you've given us so far has been a lock and it's come out.
Bingo.
A little bit later on, Ted's going to give us his word that he hates of the week. But Ted's our sports gambling guy. So if you like putting a few bucks on any of the games or anything that's going on, Ted's the guy that you want to listen to. thesportsprofits.com. You can check them out on YouTube, The Sports Profits, Facebook, Instagram. On Instagram, it's The Sports Profits _. But Ted, we're glad to have you here for the whole show tonight.
Absolutely. So. Excited.
Cool. And then last but not least, you got Nick the Flick.
That's it, baby.
How did that?
We out here.
How did that Nick the Flick? How did that real quick? Tell me the short story. How did that come about?
Well, when you started the whole Bleacher Brother thing going on back in the day, I was invited to go and film with somebody. So I believe it was like the 7th inning stretch or whatever. So we went to get a drink, and then we saw this big jumbotron. Got in front of the jumbotron, and my man Pete, been trying to get him on the show. AJ's been trying to get him on the show. For some reason, he hasn't gotten on yet. But anyway, he was there doing it. And when he just gave the announcement, he was just like, blah. And I just had to jump in there and like, man, ain't nobody listening to you with that. So I got in front of the camera. And as soon as we turned around, he said, you think you can do better? I said, let me go. So as soon as I saw the red light come on, I don't know. I'm just like that, period. If AJ knows me, people know me. When we have a good time or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I try to make the best out of it. And that was it. When the red light came on, Nick the Flick, we're here, Marlins, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. It's took from there. But before that, Nick the Flick came from a friend of mine that I used to be a roommate with. May he rest in peace. But every time he used to come home, I'm sitting there watching TV, and he's like, "Man, you watch too many goddamn flicks, man." So I'm gonna call you Nick the Flick, and that's how Nick the Flick came, and that's it. That's the short story.
And
I love it.
how many hats you got there loaded up tonight in case we
Oh,
change? You got like a
nah,
New York
nah.
Rangers
Tonight, oh,
hat,
I
a
got plenty of
Jets hat,
Yankee hats, but you
Yankee
know, when
hat.
we go to the football, it's blah blah, just like that.
Wow. You didn't just buy that hat this week, did you?
Oh no, AJ, I got them all over there stashed in the closet.
I
You know, I only pull them out. They look crispy because when they do good, I wear them, and then when they play like shit, they stay in the closet.
Yeah, I'm like that. If you knew how many hats and jerseys I had, I got Dodgers. I got
Don't even
Phillies,
talk jerseys. I
Mets,
got a whole bunch of jerseys.
I got Tigers. I don't know where the hell I got a Tiger. I think the only one I don't have is a Boston Red Sox hat. But,
Yeah,
I got
You don't
pretty
need
much
them.
every.
Never.
You know, MLB playoffs last week. 2 of us plus Mike. We sat there. We made some wild card picks. I can tell you that Nick was a perfect 0 for 4. He didn't
Yes,
pick anything
sir.
right last week.
No, did not.
I think Duncan was 2 for 4. I think without going back and looking at the sheet. I'm not the type of guy that likes to toot his own horn, but you know,
Toot it.
obviously, toot it.
Yeah, right.
Where the hell is it? Is it this one?
I'm not as dumb as you think I am.
Exactly. I'm not as dumb as I am, all right? I was 4 for 4 last week. I gave you all the underdogs, and everybody covered, kind of easily, to tell you the truth. So, let's get into it. Let me throw it out there. Biggest surprise from anyone from the wild card round, first of all.
Max Scherzer getting rocked. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, the biggest surprise is the Mets. Come on, man. With all the money they spent this year, they lose 6-0 at home.
They got
Bats
one
go cold. It's just crazy. Game 1, they lose. I mean, San Diego wins 7-1. Game 2, they win 7-3. And then game 3, 6-0. I mean, just straight horrible for what the Mets spent in the offseason and then making it this far and then just straight up going cold at a time where you definitely cannot go cold. So, I don't know.
But that's the Mets being the Mets, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Mets always look great on paper. And then when it comes down to the nitty gritty, always look good on paper, always. And they make good pickups. You know, they always get guys that I always end up saying, God damn, we missed out on that dude. But then it just doesn't pay off. You know what I mean? And I know my boy saw Santiago. I know the Santiago family out there in New York. You guys are really upset. Really upset.
I think the Mets are screwed, to tell you the truth. All right. I think DeGrom's going to walk. And how old is Max Scherzer? Is he like 300 years old?
He's
I mean, I don't.
He's on par with like Verlander.
Yeah, but Verlander is
36.
still
But
solid.
Verlander's still throwing. Yeah, Verlander's still doing his thing.
Yeah, he got shelled too.
The Mets have to be the biggest disappointment, though, so far, right?
you know, I know that the crime's higher in New York than it was 10 years ago, and they were talking about bringing back the stop and frisk, but I didn't think that they were going to do it on the baseball mound. You know, it's bad enough that the Mets were probably most of the year the hottest team.
Hang on. I'm asleep at the wheel, man. I'm sorry. Hang on. There you go. All right.
I mean, it's bad enough that they were pretty much the hottest team all year, and they put up that kind of disappointing performance. But then on top of all of that, the way they go out is they're getting destroyed, okay, by the Padres in that last game, and they check him for the sticky stuff. It was like such a perfect feather in the cap almost. Like you go down respectfully. Don't go down like that. That's the way I look at it.
The one piece of good news I see for the Mets is they will win a World Series soon, because every team that Buck Showalter has managed, other than Baltimore, has gone to the World Series or won the World Series the year after he leaves. So,
Yeah,
So
if
you
they get
think he's
Aaron
gone?
Judge, who knows?
You think he's leaving?
who? Showalter?
Buck. Yeah.
No, they're gonna keep him around. They're gonna keep him
Yeah.
around for another couple seasons. But I think they got
Scherzer's
major problems.
38. I looked it up. Scherzer's 38. Verlander's 39. I mean, these pitchers, these great pitchers, they are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, let's move to the current round of playoffs that are going on here.
Yeah,
And,
baby.
I see Captain Ron is blowing up the chat there, and we'll bring you on at some point here, Ron. Anybody else out there? I see a whole shitload of people. Look at
Does
Petra
Ron have
Martin out
permission
there.
to come
What's up,
on?
Mike? What's that?
Does Ron have permission to come on the show?
No,
Things
Ron,
have changed.
no,
The
Ron,
dynamic has changed.
Ron doesn't have permission. Ron has to go through the
Knock, knock.
that's how Ron gets on.
No.
Yeah.
Did he ask Mrs. Ron? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he gotta get that permission slip. You gotta get that furlough.
Right.
So Ron does a show on Tuesdays called the NFL Aftermath, and I crashed his show last night because since I am like the Rupert Murdoch of Bleacher Brothers, I can just pop the shows. I accidentally did it to Duncan the other day, but Ron just got married this past weekend, so I figured let me go and congratulate him and see if she actually didn't be the runaway bride right before. But Ron was dressed. Are you ready for this? Ron was dressed in a Cowboys jersey last night, wearing a Cowboys necklace, and I think he had Michael Irvin underoos on at the same time also.
Oh, no.
Permission. What is he talking about? Anyway, let's stick to baseball for a minute, not Ron. I got a question. Bryce Harper's up right now, top of the fourth, 0-0. Bryce Harper looks like he is locked in for the last couple of games. And if Bryce Harper is locked in, how far can the Phillies go?
Far.
Well, according to you, listening to you last week, you're expecting to go pretty far.
Yeah, I took him to win it all. And I'm always right with my picks.
Yeah, no doubt. Last week.
I mean, they tried hard to lose that game yesterday, and I don't get the whole Eflin is
Don't even say that name. Don't say that name.
We absolutely need Wheeler to go 9 innings. If it scores 0-0 at the end of 9, we need Wheeler to do a Jack Morris and keep going into the 10th and the 11th and the 12th.
12th inning.
Yeah, there's no bullpen right now. I think Stubbs is the only closer that we have left tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But
they said maybe Dominguez, possibly Hand, or they don't know about Alvarado. They think he's done. So, I mean, it's the postseason, right? So you got to be all hands on deck here. Step up, pitch, especially if you're up, in a game 2, you can take a day off in between and go back home up 2-0. Sell out, man. Just sell out. It's only 3 in this round.
Well, let me ask you guys about this. Another game that I had a lot of interest in yesterday. I got a clip here at the end of the game.
And Scott Service is calling on Robbie Ray to face Yordan Alvarez, one of the most feared hitters in the game. Myers at second base, the pinch runner. Pena the runner at first, the tying run. Alvarez launches deep right field, and this one is gone! And the Astros walk them off in game 1. Yordan Alvarez! Are you kidding me?
There's no way Seattle can come back from that, right?
None. Absolutely none. I mean, Mickey Delaney and some of the other guys are like, they got a chance. I don't think there's any way that you recover from that. You get 5 runs against Justin Verlander, or 6 runs against Verlander, chase him 4 1/3 inning. You're rolling. You're up 7-3 going into the 8th inning. You need 6 outs.
2 outs, 2 on.
Yeah, 2 outs, 2 on. And then it's typical, right? It's like guy gets a weak single, then he hits a guy, and then he's like, oh shit, go to panic. Let's bring in Robbie Ray, who's never done this before in his life. Although he's a Cy Young pitcher and he's got some juice. What do you get? Fastball pitcher, fastball hitter. I'm going to take the hitter every single day. Yeah, and just locked it. I mean, he wasn't cheated at all on that pitch. That ball was smoked.
I think it was like 438 feet, second deck.
Yeah.
Like, and you heard it. I'm sitting here, my wife's in the room, in the bathroom doing her thing, and all of a sudden I'm like, bang! Holy shit! You know what I mean? Like, he rocked that ball, dude. It was incredible, man. Great
like
ending to a game, just the wrong team for me.
Yeah. It's like you have those little the memes or the gifs that the kids have, and it's like, at this moment you can see their heartbreak, and it was brutal, man.
It was at this moment when the pitcher knew he messed up.
He had fucked up.
These playoffs,
Morgan Freeman Jew.
These playoffs are amazing. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Verlander, before that game, in his last 3 games against Seattle, 21 innings, 3 earned runs.
Yep.
I was all over the Astros' first 5 innings minus a half a run as a bet yesterday. So just the way that these aces are getting rocked, it's blowing my mind. It's almost like every game.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole's one of the only ones that didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Cole had
just a little league team though.
What's that?
Yeah, and Wheeler and Nola. I mean, fingers crossed.
I thought that Seattle coming into this series, so I thought that week off that these 1 and 2 seeds had would really affect them when they got back out there.
That's so crazy that you mentioned that, because that stuck in my head this whole time when coming out of the wild card into the divisional. I said, let me tread lightly with these teams that got a few days off here, because I was thinking about what you were saying the whole time, proving to be pretty accurate so far.
And I thought Seattle was dumb enough as a team, young and dumb enough to think that they could win. And so I'm watching the Phillies, but then I'm checking the score, and I'm seeing that they're scoring all these runs off of Verlander early. And I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna steamroll Houston, is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Seattle sweeps Houston. And I pulled, I don't know, the game got over at like 9 o'clock last night. I think that game, somewhere around there. I actually pulled into the parking garage here, where the studio is. And Seattle was winning when I got out of my car. And I came in here, I put the TV on, and Houston was celebrating on the field. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah. Just that quick.
Has
but
anybody...
you're right,
Good.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if anybody checked the trash cans in the Minute Maid Park or whatever the hell it's called.
Oh, for the who? The Tampa Bay?
No, for the banging of the trash cans when they cheated.
Yeah. Them bastards. Them dudes, man, they stole one from us. They stole one from us with that bullshit. But hey, man, like I told you last week, Houston puts a little fear in my stomach. You know what I mean? If it becomes the Yankees and Houston, which I still think it's going to be Houston and the Yankees. I mean, they're just a good team. Even though I don't like them, they're just a good team. They're well-rounded, good hitters, all around, and they're capable of doing what they did in the ninth yesterday.
That's
and they did it. They did it to us. Chapman threw that fastball, and who hits a home run to win the game? Altuve.
It's the type of comeback that can ruin one team and make another team's postseason.
Yep. That's right.
I think that's what we're going to see.
And the Yankees
that's what happened.
Go ahead.
You say that's what happened to St. Louis. The Phillies, fighting all game. They get that win. They hang on. Then I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports more so than anything that you get basketball, you get one, football, you get one shot, right? You got to go out there, you got to sell out. But baseball, like, if it's a long series and they get in your head, they get to your top pitcher, they eat up your bullpen, then the managers start overthinking themselves. You got Connor Brogdon and Zach Eflin trying to close games out, and I'm like, ridiculous, man.
That's the thing that scares me with the Phillies, is that they can't ride. Every time every time they should win, they lose, and every time they should lose, they win.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell? But Nick, you mentioned what's his name, Chapman, a minute ago. What's up with that, bro? He just quit on the team.
He decided to stay in Miami and drink Mai Tais or something. I don't know, but to be honest with you, Chapman's not the same anymore. And dude, last I remember it with him, he wasn't even a closer anymore. He was a setup dude,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but
he's not the dude. He's not the dude that we let go to Chicago and won the World Series, and then we brought him back. He was hot for a while, but then that crazy fastball of his all over the place and stuff like that. So he's not the same anymore. He's still valuable, but not enough the way he thought he could do what he's gonna do, and then he was gonna be able to come back, and they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, you're in the lineup. Like, nah, he's not that dude anymore. So that little trick he decided to do, that stay in Miami. I mean, I thought it was bold that what's the name Boone told him, you know what? Just stay in Miami. You're a Yankee. You're over with. You're done. You're done with being a Yankee. So I don't know. I don't know if he'll be back, and who knows, dude.
He ain't gonna be back on the Yankees. Does anybody pick him up? Is the question.
Somebody will pick him up.
Sure.
Somebody will pick him
Minnesota.
up. Yeah, somebody will pick him up. The dude still throws over 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? So somebody will get him.
And that team is hurt. I mean, you got LeMahieu is out. The Yankees have so many guys. I don't even know who the hell's on that team.
There was like, from when I saw the lineup at the game yesterday, I think there was like 13 dudes that are not, that are not playing. You got about 6 or 7 pitchers that are not playing. I don't know all their names, but Zach Britton's not playing, and who's the other guy? Shit. I forgot his name. I got him on my phone. But a lot of guys are missing, hurt. So us winning yesterday the way that we did, it was exciting. It was good. We needed that to come out the gate. Cole pitched a good game, aside the one home run, but that's Cole's MO. He'll give up a home run or two, and then he just starts K'ing them. Boom, 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 boom. And that's exactly what he did last night. I believe he had 8 Ks. He gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 1 error. Dude, he had an ERA of 1.42 last night. So besides the home run, man, it was definitely a good start for the first game win.
But does anybody here on screen or anybody in the chat actually think that the Yankees have a shot against Houston? Because, I mean, Cleveland doesn't hit home runs. So Cole can miss with his pitches constantly, and he's not going to get hurt by the Cleveland Guardians. But when he misses against the Astros, trash can, no trash can, buzzer taped to Altuve's chest under his jersey, I don't think it matters. They're gonna open up a can. I think Cole is gonna be, when we get there, Cole is gonna be fired up to pitch against them. So hopefully it'll end up being a good thing,
I think it just depends on the heat of the bats at the end of the day with the Yankees.
Absolutely.
I don't think, obviously it's important for Garrett Cole and other pitchers to pitch well for them, but they live and die by the bat, and that's what you got to look at.
Yeah. It's the one thing I really don't like that the Yankees are. Sorry to cut you off, Duncan. Is like we rely on the home run ball way too much. Way too much. Yeah. And that's why I kind of like these new young guys that they brought in at the end of the season. Dude, they're solid hitters, and they seem to be consistent. You know what I mean? They're young, they're fast. So I don't know. It looks promising. Yankees always look promising, but sometimes it's like the Mets. Sometimes, on paper it looks good and things just don't pan out. But I think this year we're going to be all right. I think we'll be all right. But like I said, Houston puts that little fear bug in my gut because I know that they're a solid team. They might be a little bit more solid than we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they seem a lot more
solid. Take it away!
What's that?
That's what scares me about Atlanta more than anything. I think I brought this up on the previous show, is that there's not really a hole in their lineup, and if they need to beat you station to station, they can beat you station to station. But now if you miss it to somebody like Dansby Swanson, the guy's going to hit it out of the park. You know what I mean? Like, he goes 0 for 4 yesterday, comes up bottom of the 9th inning, starts a rally. They get 3 runs back on the home run from Olsen. When they don't have to click the same way sometimes that the Yankees lineup has to click. That's why I look at Atlanta, I'm like, oh shit. Same way with Los Angeles. They don't have to hit home runs to win games. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, those guys can nickel and dime you to death. You know what I mean? They just hit the ball around.
That's what makes them good.
Yeah, as long as they get serviceable pitching, they'll be all right. The one thing I will say in the Yankees' defense is that Cole came out and was Garrett Cole, and the Yankees were the New York Yankees. I think out of all the wins yesterday on those first games, the Yankees had the most comfortable win. It was a Garrett Cole win. He's hold them down. They're going to get 3-4 runs. They're going to put it away late, and no one's really going to challenge for it. Because even the Dodgers, right? They wound up giving 3 runs. They gave up 3 runs late to the Padres. So now if I'm the Dodgers, I'm thinking like, I'm late, my bullpen, these guys coming back. I mean, one thing you know about San Diego is that you look up and down their lineup. I mean, they can hit, right? They can hit. Soto can hit. Machado can hit. Cronenworth can hit. Pham can. I mean, like, they can knock the ball around. So it's Houston. I still think is they're my horse coming out of the American League. They're just I don't know, man. There's something about Houston when it gets to the playoff time. They're talking about St. Louis, a couple weeks ago, but they just that win last night. If they needed some juice, man,
they got it.
They got some juice,
Dude,
man.
Dude, that doesn't energize that squad. Yeah. I don't even know what would.
Yeah, nothing else after that.
I agree with what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But because being a Yankee fan, I'm just gonna have to stick with my blue and white.
If
but I do know they think, man.
Admit it, you got a Houston hat somewhere there behind you, off camera on the side. You get an Astros hat that you can put on.
Hell no.
Oh, me? You got a Mets hat?
No, hell no, I ain't got no Mets hat either. I used to be a crazy Mets fan until they dismantled that '86 team, and I was just like, you know what? These guys suck. and then I jump over across town, and at that point, the Yankees suck too. But
speaking of that '86 team, Lenny Dykstra is going to come back on again. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that the Phillies advance. Mm-hmm. Because Dykstra has been real active on Twitter talking baseball lately. It was Mets and Phillies. Now he's straight up just talking Phillies. So if, I'm probably pushing my luck here holding out because we could have had him tonight. We could have him last week. We could have him next week. But I think it would be great if the Phillies make the NLCS to have Dykstra on and then maybe have him back to actually talk baseball because he's putting out some great stuff on Twitter right now as far as.
He played for the Phillies, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yep. Played for the Mets and the Phillies.
Right.
Oh, I don't know.
That'd be cool to talk to that dude.
Yeah, no.
Just to pick his brain and ask him about, things that happened in the '86 squad,
Well, he had some good stories. He broke it on our show. So the Mets did this Old Timers Day this year. It's the first time they did it in 20-something years. And Lenny Dykstra was the only guy that did not get invited back. And so I had some fans on that night talking about Old Timers Day. They didn't know Lenny Dykstra was coming on. Lenny just popped on the screen, surprised the shit out of everybody. I knew he was coming on. But, Lenny said, well, the reason why I wasn't invited is because I banged Steve Cohen's daughter. So that's why you can go back and look at the tape, man. It's on our YouTube.
Oh, snap.
Talking baseball with Lenny Dykstra. Yeah.
Oh, snap. That's funny.
Yeah, he was really, we were afraid because, I reached out to him on Twitter. I didn't know him. I just said, hey, I'm doing this podcast. You want to come on? And I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. He said, call me 3:00. Here's my phone number. So I called him and I said, is Lenny? He goes, well, it depends. Who's this? I said, AJ. Who the fuck is AJ? Said, you told me to call you. Oh, yeah, the podcast guy. He goes, yeah, I'll give you like 10 minutes. That's the best I can do. I said, okay. He says, but you got to call. When is it? Is it now? I said, no, it's tomorrow. What time? It's 8:00. He goes, oh, you got to start calling me at noon. And you got to call me every hour on the hour and remind me.
Damn.
He goes, because I get a lot of pussy. You know that?
Oh, so my God.
I heard that. And he sounded whacked out of his mind. I was like, yeah, I heard that. He goes, yeah, because pussy distracts me, man. So you got to call me every hour on the hour. So then I'm talking to Tony Bruno. And I said, hey, I'm having Lenny on my first show. And he goes, and him and Robin both said, are you dealing with Lenny or his handler? And I'm like, handler. And they said, yeah, Lenny has a handler. Lenny has a babysitter that, you got to, because he was on Tony's show years ago. And if you don't deal with the handler, Lenny's not going to show up or he's going to show up drunk. So then I'm panicked. I'm like, all right, you know what? The whole show is in my head revolving around Lenny. I got all these other Met knuckleheads coming on. But I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to Dykstra. I want to surprise. And these are all big Lenny Dykstra fans. These are people that were posting all over social media pictures of themselves at Old Timers Day with their signs. Where's Lenny? We love you, number 4. Nails forever. So I'm panicked. I'm like, well, you know what? Lenny might not know how to log onto a computer or get onto No Filter. So then I had to bring Mr. P in, my buddy. I said, look, you got to call Lenny. You got to start calling him every 10 minutes. You got to talk him through. I went out and spent $1,000 on a special piece of equipment so that I could take a phone call like you're on the radio and patch it on, in case Lenny couldn't get on the computer. But at the end of the day, he was the most professional dude. I mean, he got on. It was no problem. He talked baseball. At the end, he started to stray on, I get a lot of pussy and stuff like that. And we ended the show because, it was my first show. So I didn't really know how to handle Lenny Dykstra at that moment. But, I'm anxious to have him back. And, I communicated with him afterwards. And I don't know, it should be pretty cool. But anyway, so we got Lenny, and we are doing, if the Yankees do end up in the World Series, we're moving the studio over to Nick's man cave over there. Is that filtered water? Because I know a guy who owns a water filter company who can hook you up with a water filter on that water.
Yeah, my water is filtered.
All right, good.
My water is filtered. But we ain't drinking no water over here, man. That water is for when you need a little bit of water because you just waste it.
Your mouth is dry. Your mouth is dry. Yeah.
I said, yo, go over there. Stop drooling over here. Go over there.
You got a softener on that? You got a softener on that? I give you a softener.
I do. Yeah, I do. I do got a water softener.
You get city water or well water?
I got city water.
Nick?
City water.
Are you in Florida?
Yeah.
He's in Boynton.
It's my garage.
Okay. I love it.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. Well, hey, let's move on and let's move on to Ted and let's start Ted's segment here with his NCAA Bleacher Brother exclusive college football pick of the week.
College football pick of the week. I hope you guys watched some college games last week because they were just. I was just talking with the guys before we came on. That Alabama Texas A&M game was incredible. I mean, it was better than any NFL game, in my opinion, that was on this week. So keep watching. You'll enjoy yourself. We're doing Pac-12 this week. Pac-12 is West Coast teams, usually high-flying offenses, high-scoring offenses. This is no different. We're looking at USC versus Utah. USC is quality team. Utah's a quality team as well. USC's 6-0. They're scoring 40 points a game. They're ranked 15th overall in points scored. And when I break down this game, I'm going to be looking at the running of Utah versus the run defense of USC. It's going to be the mainstay as far as my prediction. So first of all, USC, their quarterback comes from Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma transfer, and he's getting the job done fantastic. He has 1690 as far as yards, 14 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's the type of quarterback that can win the game for USC, but I'm looking more at Utah's offense and defense. So USC only allows 18.7 points per game, but they haven't faced a rush offense like Utah. And still, they're giving up 152 yards per game on the ground. Not good. That's ranked 86th in the nation, where Utah's run offense, they're putting up 200 yards a game rushing, ranked.
Damn.
I think it's like 25th, 24th in the nation. So, and then they're ranked 40th in points also. So Utah and USC both have the points. The main difference when you look at this game and watch the game and you'll see it, it's going to be Utah's run offense versus USC's run defense. It's going to be the difference maker. Old school NFL style, control the clock, run the ball down their throats. Couple against the spreads and a couple trends. USC is 4-2 in their last 6 against the spread, but 2-4 in their last 6 against Utah. 1-4 against the spread on the road versus Utah in their last 5. 2-7 against the spread versus the Pac-10 in their last 9. And Utah has not lost a home game in 11 games. I think they make this one number 12, and I think Utah wins the game. It's a 3-point spread. I'm laying the money. I'm just paying 150 for them to win the game outright. That's all they have to do. They could win by 1, they could win by 2, they could win by 3. It does not matter. And on top of all that, yes, I was talking about Caleb Williams, USC's good quarterback coming out of Oklahoma, but Utah is number 8 against the pass. I think they stop him. I think they get the job done there. It could be a it could be a blowout. And I could feel really stupid not just taking the points and going with the money line, but I like to play it safe. And I have a streak running for Bleacher Brothers here. I can't break the streak. So we're
You're
going
undefeated, just
Utah.
like me.
Utah on the money line, win the game outright. That's all they got to do. I think you'll see by the time Saturday night's here, this is a 150 spread. I think you'll see this at 170, 180. So whoever's watching, get it in now before it gets juicier.
But on the points, Utah is laying 3, right?
Utah's giving 3.
Okay.
Like I said, you could play it on the points. You could play it. I would at least buy it to 2.5. It might be at 3.5 at this point, the way these lines move, but I would play it at least 2.5 if you don't want to lay the money and play it on the money line.
And last week you gave us a 30-point. We took Georgia laying 30, and I questioned you. And you explained that college football is a lot different than the NFL, and they would cover. And I did look on my phone Saturday afternoon, and I saw second quarter, and it was like a 7-point game, and I said, "Oh, Ted, what are you doing, man?" And then I looked back later that night, 32 points they covered.
Yeah, I mean, rush defense and defense overall for Georgia is what it was all about. So, you know, the way you'll see these college games work a lot of the time when you have the dominant team like Georgia, it will be close at first. And it just picture it like a woodpecker just steadily pecking that tree. Eventually Georgia just pounds them down. The guys get tired. They realize they can't hang. They realize they can't handle it. The spark's gone. You get into the third and fourth quarter, and that spread starts to balloon. That lead starts to separate. And you got a team in Georgia who they have stuff to prove. I mean, Alabama didn't cover the spread. You know, like I always say with college football, covering the spread matters to these coaches because these are coaches that are expected to win every game already. So what do they have to prove? What's the next level of proof? It's covering the spread every game. So that's like their victory. You know, when you're already a 30-point favorite, you know you're going to win. It's a matter of covering the spread. It's a matter of getting those rankings, the college football playoff, obviously, but they need to cover spreads to keep their rankings up. I mean, if the game's close, they'll slip in the rankings even though they win the game.
All right. Well,
with this Pac-12 game, very different style of football, just high flying. I highly recommend if you're not into college football and you want a nice introduction to college football, watch a Pac-12 game. Watch this Utah USC game. Pac-12 is always fun. They're usually late at night, so it's like a nice little nightcap and good stuff.
Cool. And look, I can see, you know, in the audience tonight, I got a lot of hockey fans out there. So once baseball gets over, we're going to start incorporating a lot of hockey into the show. I mean, there's only so much time, so sharpen your hockey pencils, Ted, and we'll see if we can.
I had the Rangers last night.
I got a lot of Ranger fans. I can see them.
I had the Rangers last night over the Lightning, so that was a good start. Absolutely. I also had the Kings, and they lost. So.
And and Duncan, you said that the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, correct?
That's negative, and I don't like the Flyers. I don't like the Flyers. That's my only 4 for 4. I'm not. So I like the Rangers. Grew up at that point in my life in the Poconos, so my parents were like, "We're not paying for Prism. We're not paying for that cable. You can watch WGN." So I watched all the Ranger games back there in the mid '80s, early '90s. So I'm in love with the Rangers, man. They just get it done, man. Get it done. Let's go.
Rangers were on MSG back in the day. Me and my buddy Mike, we used to do this thing with the Ranger games where we knew this girl who worked at Pasquale's Pizza, place in Brick where we grew up. And, you know, when you were a kid, like I worked at Jersey Mike's. So any of my buddies came into Jersey Mike's, they were walking out with 17 subs and, you know, whatever. But anyway,
We got a nice sandwich.
Wait, you worked at the Jersey Mike's, the one
I
that's
worked
huge now?
I worked at the Jersey. When there was like one Jersey Mike's, I worked at one Jersey Mike's.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to run the play. I had the
It's like saying
opportunity.
you worked at the first McDonald's ever.
Yeah, no. I'm not that. I didn't blow it that bad, but yeah, I could have franchised one of the first Jersey Mike's franchises for $70K back in the day, and I thought, I don't want to make sandwiches my whole life. And now, you know, Danny DeVito is doing their commercials. They're in every Major League Baseball stadium, and I think it's $700,000 to open up a Jersey Mike's now. But anyway, we used to go to Pasquale's, and this girl Gloria used to load us. Mike, you remember this? Mike's watching. She would load us up with pizzas and calzones, and we would go back to his place and just watch Ranger games and eat like we had 3 assholes each. Those old days, man. So
That's when you could eat everything. It didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like 2, 3 in the morning, you're like, let's finish that pizza. All right, let's finish it.
Yeah, don't do that now.
Now, if I look at it,
you be in the bathroom. You be in the bathroom. Your ass be blowed up like a baboon. Yeah, you be hurt.
All right, I gotta move on to another topic here. So. All right, that song goes on forever. But here, I got this here.
Brilliant sunshine here in the Northeast for the Dolphins and the Jets.
First and 10, Teddy Bridgewater.
And again, this rookie corner out of Cincinnati has a big play in a game.
Sauce.
Throws one down the left sideline, wide open, Brees Hall. 20, at the 10, carrying a tackler. Stop his feet, right at the 1-yard line.
It's Carter and touchdown, New York Jets. Here they come, and there he goes with a wobbly pass. It's picked off, and that's the first interception by Gardner.
Dunkin tackle, runs to his right, dives for the end zone. Yeah! That's how you do this. Fire deep right sideline, Corey Davis.
Touchdown.
Under pressure, lost the football. It's scooped up by Quentin Williams. He's at the 5-yard line.
Make this normal. It is absolutely normal.
I had to play that for 2 reasons. We have a lot of Dolphin fans on this show that always come on here and they're talking all kinds of smack, and I don't even see half of them tonight in the audience. And the other reason I had to play it is that's probably going to be the only Jets highlight clip for the entire season. So
You're probably right, bro. You are probably right.
Nick, he's
I
got
hope you.
right now. What
I
happens
hope
when
you're not. I hope you're not right, but you're probably right. You know.
So this is the first time in years that the Giants and the Jets are both over 500 at this point in the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my wife's over there. She's happy about that. You know, she's a big Giants fan. So shout out to my wife over there in the other room. Even though she gets mad that on the NFL ticket, I don't flip it to the Giants game as much as she liked to see because I'm too busy watching the boys in green. But the Jets look good. They're not great, but they are doing what needs to be done to squeeze out what they need to get. So as far as the rookies, they're playing great ball. And, man, just go Jets right now. You know, go Jets. I mean, everybody is, they're good. They're not good, whatever. But, dude, they've been exciting. This is the first time in a really long time as a Jet fan. Dude, they come out the gate, they lose, and now they've won 3 in a row, whatever it is. So, dude, I'm happy as I can be, And to beat a Dolphin, being in the state of Florida, having to deal with these guys. I mean, The only reason, honest truth, that I never converted as a Dolphin is just to the fact that they win 1 or 2 games, and then that old ass 72 Dolphin song comes on the radio. Everybody's playing it, and it's like, dude, you're 2 games in. What are you talking about? Oh, that song right there. That's like, I'm deaf, and that thing bothers my ears. That damn song. And I'm literally deaf, dude. I wear hearing aids.
Aikman was talking about the Dolphins the other night when he said take the skirts off, right? And then the big controversy now, that's about the Dolphins.
People are going crazy over that. That's ridiculous. I was actually going to.
Oh, but what the hit by Sauce in the beginning of the game to knock out Bridgewater? Dude, once that happened, I knew that things were going to be on the decline because after Bridgewater, you really ain't got nobody except for that rookie that came in.
I had the Jets going into that game plus 3.5, and I had a little sprinkle on the money line also because I just thought Jets at home. Both of these teams are in a similar trajectory, and the Dolphins don't have Tua. They have the issue, and I think the Jets still would have covered that spread with Bridgewater in the whole game. I think they still win the game, but of course with no Bridgewater, it's. I mean, yeah, they could be happy, but I think the Jets go into Green Bay this week, and I think Aaron Rodgers has a point to prove after losing last week and some of the stuff that happened in the locker room last week. I think Green Bay just destroys them.
Rolls them over.
2 or 3 touchdown game, I think.
Well, look, I'm happy and I'm excited because I said, and when you go back and watch, that's why I love having a podcast.
You did.
Because when
you did say it.
You can go back. It's not like I'm just pulling this out of my ass. All right. I said the Dolphins would turn back into the Dolphins. And like Sly said earlier,
I'm not as dumb as you think I am.
Everything I touch.
Yeah, but any team's going to turn back into garbage when they're on their 3rd string quarterback. That's what's going to be interesting is what happens if and when Tua comes back. Will they return to that form? Will he return to that form, or will he never be the same?
Or was he just lucky for a couple of games?
Or was he just having some good games? I mean, listen, I love Alabama quarterbacks. I love Jalen Hurts. I love Mac Jones. And Tua, for me, out of that group, he was more at the bottom of it, and he was climbing his way up in these last few weeks for me, and now I don't know what to think.
Well, I love seeing the Dolphins lose. I think Nick is the same way. I
love seeing them lose. But the Dolphins always have good defense. In the way their defense always steps up all the time. I think they have a decent team. I think they've made some good acquisitions and shit, but I'm not sold on the quarterback. The same way I'm not even sold on Zach yet. I'm not sold on Zach yet. I for some reason I think he's just too small, and just a lot of hype over. I mean, because who does BYU really play? To with all the hype that came with him, But he has stepped up, coming back from this whole injury thing, and and he comes through in the 4th quarter. He's put some good numbers up in the 4th quarter, So. He's a Jet, and I ain't got no problem with him. I just, as far as the team, I think JD has made some excellent moves. There's so many people out there saying, this guy, get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? The dude has made more picks in the last 2 years when he was in control of the picks than all last, I don't know who, Tannenbaum and Isaac and all these other clowns. Like, dude, some of you guys, I don't know everything about football. I don't know everything about the Jets, but I do know from what I've seen JD step in and make the moves that he's made, the Jets are in the right direction. And whether they don't do nothing this year, within the next 2 years, the Jets are going to be the real deal.
My most memorable Jet moment was when they were on Hard Knocks. And they were
in a
meeting, and Rex was the coach. And Rex is
not for nothing. Rex, we haven't seen nothing since Rex.
And then Rex said at the end of the meeting, "Now let's go have a fucking cookie."
Yeah. Let's go get a snack.
Yeah, let's go get a fucking snack. That's what it was. I love Rex. He was probably going to see Gloria. Is probably where he was going.
Probably was with his fat ass.
What's up with this NFC East? I mean, other than they'll always be the Redskins to me. Petro, am I right? Are they still the Redskins, Petroselli? But who are they? They're not the Guardians.
The
Guardians.
Commanders.
And why are the Braves still allowed to do the fucking tomahawk chop?
They're winning.
I don't know. Because Ted
Anyway,
Turner got a lot of money.
I saw an article. I saw an article after the wild card, and it said, now that the Indians have dropped their racist name, they're seeing success again, or something like that. That's
direct correlation.
It's all about the name change. It's all about the name change.
How about the name change? Yeah, exactly.
They should have changed the name of the Redskins to the Zelenskis. Maybe that would have been a good ironic sort of name. The Washington Zelenskis. But anyway, what's up with the NFC East? I mean, other than the Redskins,
they're for real.
You got the only undefeated team, and then you got the Giants with 1 loss, and then you got what the hell else is it? Oh, the Cowboys with 1 loss, and the Cowboys are playing the Eagles this week, correct?
Correct.
Undefeated Eagles.
Great game. I've been praising Jalen Hurts since he came into the league. You could go back to my YouTube videos from last year, and I think he could be special. I think I see a lot of good stuff with him. So it's all about the quarterback. You saw what Ron Rivera said, and I thought that was crazy. I mean, imagine being Ron Rivera's quarterback after what he said in that meeting where they said, what do you blame it on? He pretty much said QB.
Yeah, but then he came back and apologized, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he said, "Well, we don't regret." I don't know. I it's still baseball season to me, but I hear little bits and pieces of this and that. Who's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys now?
Cooper Rush.
Julio selling tacos in the parking lot over there. That's who the quarterback.
Uncle Rico. He on standby.
Yeah, that's right, Uncle Rico. Go fix yourself one of them quesadillas.
Bring the Cowboys fan on with us here now.
Here he comes, the captain.
No.
The captain.
No. I may be married to a Cowboys fan, but I am not that. I am not about that life.
Ryan, were you not wearing Cowboys jersey?
A deal is a deal. I made the wager. She won the wager. Turnabout's fair play. I'm not going to sit here and be a dick.
That's the way you got to be. You say your word, you keep your word, brother.
Maybe you should stop wagering, because I remember last week you wanted to bet that the Cardinals were going to wipe the Phillies out, and you're like, a case of beer, but I don't drink. I
made one last wager yesterday. What was that one, AJ?
I don't even recall, Ron, because your wagers are so whack and you always lose. I stopped paying attention.
Exactly. That's why I made the wager yesterday. I said that the Dallas Cowboys would be this year's Super Bowl champions.
Oh,
yeah.
What are the odds on that?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Oh no, this one actually was the fun one, because when I told my wife this, she's like, "How you gonna chase my team like that?" I'm like, it's the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I'm probably gonna have to end up going to the storage unit to get the damn VCR out again.
Oh no, VCR! Holy smokes!
Yeah, because she wants to watch. Because she's probably gonna want to watch. The last time the Cowboys actually did something in the playoffs.
All right, so
when Emmett was playing?
Yes. When Troy Aikman actually was playing, when Michael Irvin wasn't so coked out of his mind. The usual.
Moose.
I hear that.
All right, so let me ask you this: who's going to come out of that?
The Moose was good, though.
Who wins it? Is it the Eagles? Are the Eagles that good? I mean, Duncan, you're right there in Philadelphia. Are the Eagles that good? I mean, I know the city's got to be bouncing like crazy right now with the Phillies and then the Eagles. Where is that game? Is it in Dallas or is it in Philly?
It's in Philly.
Oh, shit. So you got Philly playoff games on Friday and Saturday, and then you got the Eagles. Is that a Monday night game or is that a Sunday game?
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Wow.
Yeah. You don't.
Wow.
It's going to be crazy.
So
absolutely crazy.
Predictions. That game. Who's winning?
I think the Eagles win. Yeah, I think the Eagles win. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that close. At this point, I don't think it's that close. I think that Phillies juiced up. They're at home. They're going to be vibing off the Phillies energy. Dallas is still coming in. Cooper Rush is Cooper Rush. He's good, but Gannon, for whatever reason, he's finding some shit with this defense. They're getting pressure up front. Corners, they're making their moves, and Yeah,
I think if Dak was in the game, it'd be a lot closer. But I don't think Cooper Rush got what it takes to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, people pay sometimes too much attention to Prescott, and I feel like they try to game plan around him too much. He's a good quarterback, but he doesn't scare me the same way that I don't know, like even Kyler Murray. Like I was more anxious to see them play Kyler Murray, have a defend really a mobile quarterback, because you keep Prescott in his lane back there. I think they eat him up. But Cooper Rush,
Murray stopped scaring guys with that suit he wore to the game last week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hideous. That thing was hideous, dude.
It was a rough one.
It was rough.
I don't even have money, and I wouldn't even be going to sleep with an outfit like that. You know what I mean? Like
it didn't look expensive. I'll tell you that.
But I'm sure it was.
Was it a penalty wearing that suit?
Hell yeah, he would have got 5 flags.
All right, so let me ask you this: is this a penalty? Unavailable. What?
Oh no! Oh no!
Of course, the NFL strikes again.
Yep. This is not no penalty. All right, so let me paint the picture for you guys.
Google.
Someone runs past Tom Brady and he falls down. Flag.
Dude. That was such horse crap, dude. That dude did not rough the passer. He had his arms wrapped around the waist. The ball was still in his hand. Dude, that was a fumble or whatever happened with the ball. But all I know is that was not rushing the passer. I mean, roughing the passer. Not at all. That cost them the game. And that's 100% that cost them the game. And that shows you right there, when you're on the Michael Jordan level, you get that treatment. There's no doubt about it.
Let me ask you this, and I do not have the clip. I should have grabbed it. But in the Chiefs game, the Chiefs got called for a roughing the passer penalty, which was, I believe, a fumble. Wasn't it a fumble?
Yeah, Raiders. Yeah.
Derek Carr fumbled it.
That was not. I don't see a penalty on that play.
So I don't think it's the name. Like, obviously Tom Brady has something to do with it, but I think it's everything that happened with Tua. I think that's carrying over to all of these calls. So I think, the name matters. It matters it was Brady, but the other one was Derek Carr, and he's not Tom Brady. So I think you're going to see that a lot this year, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. But it's not good for the game. The concussions aren't good for the game either, but neither is this. And if you look at the one tackle that they called, it was similar to the one where Tua went into that seizure state. I mean, it was the spin where he kind of threw him on the ground. It was a very similar tackle to the Tua tackle.
It was similar, but the guy with Tua, you could tell he brought him down with major force. The other dude had it right. And the other dude had his arms around the waist and was actually in a roll himself when he came around and brought him down. And Brady was nowhere close to even getting slammed on the floor. You know what I mean? So I just think, okay, now that you said that, I understand it, with the whole concussion thing going on, because not to jump back on the college, I saw over the weekend a helmet to helmet, and the guy was also released on concussion, and he ended up getting really messed up, in the game. So I believe it was Florida State or something like that. The guy had a gold helmet.
But
so
they're going to be on alert. These next
right now they're going to be on alert. They're definitely going to be on alert, especially after the doctor got fired from the Miami team. So now they're really going to be really strict on that. But they should. They should be super strict on that.
Is it true, Ron, that you're claiming concussion on last night's show, and that's why you ended up in the Dallas Cowboys jersey?
No, actually, I was not concussed. What it comes to for me is that the refs are doing too much. The penalty on Tom Brady, bullshit. The one on Derek Carr, bullshit. I don't know exactly I mean, I wear glasses, and honestly, I was wanting to just take my glasses, put them in a package, and send them to NFL HQ so they can give them to the refs, because I was 3 sheets to the damn wind, and even I saw that wasn't the roughing the passer call. I don't even understand what they were trying for. I understand why, because when they're Tua incident, they try to cover their own asses. But you cost the Falcons. Do you have any idea how that fan base is? They don't have anything left to smile about except for the Braves, and the Braves lost game 1. So what exactly does Atlanta have to feel good about right now? They had the Falcons, and then the rest pretty much fucked it for them.
They have CNN, right? You got to be excited about that.
Nobody's excited for CNN.
You got a lot of strip clubs in Atlanta, right?
You've been to one. Once you go through one, you practically are literally it's a revolving door. It's kind of like going to the flea market.
That's how it works down there. All
Magic City.
The Falcons actually before that game have covered every spread so far. So I mean, betting wise, the Falcons are having a solid year.
Yeah, they're tight. I've been watching that all year long because I try to follow trends, and I see the Falcons are. They covered every single game so far?
Yeah, before the last one, which they might have covered that one also. I didn't check the spread on it.
All right, hey, I have good. Go ahead.
I think the penalty thing. I think it'll calm down. I was looking. Someone on Instagram put together a really cool reel. And it was Tom Brady in his first 5 or 6 years in the league getting hit. And oh my goodness, he was getting clobbered.
Plummeted.
It's just the same thing with every quarter. I mean, you look at the hits from 2000 to 2007, 8 before that movie came out. And it was fun. It was fun to watch. And it makes you wonder, those guys, they're still here. They're still with us. Tua just might be one of those guys who's prone to the concussion, and he's got to move on. And I just think some guys' skulls are, this might not
thicker
be
than
scientifically accurate, but I think some skulls are thicker than others and can handle the hits more than others.
So does that mean we get to slap the hell out of Will Smith now, since he's the reason why this happened?
And athletes are just not as tough today. I mean, look at I go back to baseball for a second, but the Phillies, David Robertson is out of the biggest series in 11 years in Philadelphia. David Robertson, who was signed by the Phillies a couple of years ago and pitched 3 innings and then was hurt the rest of the contract. They trade for him. He's hurt. He can't pitch in this series against the Braves because he hurt his calf jumping for joy when Bryce Harper hit a home run in the Cardinals game.
Isn't that ridiculous?
The toughness.
Wasn't there a quarterback who hurt himself celebrating?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of guys done that.
If you want to watch a good show about toughness in sports, watch the Nolan Ryan documentary. Really
I
cool.
watched that the other night.
Cool,
I watched that.
Really cool stuff, and it really shows you how that era of starting pitching. And I had numbers on this, but that era. I know we're talking about football, but that era of starting pitching is no more. And it's just that power pitcher, the complete games and going the whole way, really cool to watch, and that's toughness right there.
Yeah, my buddy Anthony just put down, and I remember Ron Duguay. Ron Duguay had the best hair, but hockey players they didn't wear helmets, pre the mid '80s.
Yeah, Craig McTavish was the last guy, right? They grandfathered him in. He could be the last guy not to wear a helmet, and then everybody after McTavish was you got to have your helmet. I think it was 89, 90, something like that, 91, 92. But speaking of toughness.
And now everybody wears, hang on. Now everybody wears helmets.
Yay!
I got mail.
I should have seen that coming.
So speaking of toughness here, I guess Wheeler came inside on Acuna because Acuna was trying to take on the plate here. And he took one, it looks like to his thumb or wrist, his right hand. So Acuna right now has been down for about 4 or 5 minutes. The trainers are all around him. Wheeler's sitting on 59 pitches, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, guy on first. I don't think Acuna's going to stay in this game.
It looks like he's crying.
Yeah, he got drilled. Yeah, he got drilled.
Acuna's got to have like the worst luck of any of these guys currently in the playoffs. I mean, he was injured last year, couldn't even actually play, and had to pretty much just get a World Series championship without even having to contribute. And now this.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where it's like, you'd want him to stay in the game, but long term right now, you're like, listen, it's a 0-0 game. We're only losing by 1 game. Get out. Let's X-ray it. Let's check it. Let's make sure you're good to go. They got this guy wrapped up for a couple $100 million. You can't fool around with this guy, fudging something. He's going to stay in. He's going to stay in. Look at this guy.
He's got it.
I don't know. I don't.
They go down 2-0. They're not coming back.
Yeah, but still, I mean, this is. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, yeah, they're pointing at his elbow now. He's going
it
down
looked like his thumb. Oh, let's see where he's drilled pretty good. Here it comes.
All right, so I do have
that inside, yeah.
I do have a piece of breaking news. It's not sports related, but we're the only people that have this, and we literally have an eyewitness to this. So first, I pulled this video first before we bring the eyewitness on. But I didn't believe in this shit a while ago, but now nothing surprises me. Oh, you got to be kidding me, you motherless!
It's been disabled by the owner.
Can you do a full share screen instead of sharing the video? Just go to share your screen, then share the tab, and all your stuff should go away, and then we should be able to see like a mirror of your screen.
Exactly why everyone should be on no filter. You don't have to deal with any of the censorship.
Yeah, none of this.
I'm dealing with it though. Look at me. All right, so I'm bringing in the eyewitness. So I'll let him tell his story, and then I'm gonna have to do a share screen. Because he took pictures of what he saw. So, and this is like those, I forget what was that show? Coast to Coast? American Coast to Coast? Anybody remember that show?
Yeah.
And all they would talk about is UFOs. So Tom's got his helmet on. Yay!
You got mail.
So the clip that I was going to show was from a San Diego.
I can't hear anybody.
That's because you got that aluminum on your head.
Probably has something to do with that.
Yeah. We can hear you, buddy.
Hey, wave if you guys can hear me. Somebody wave. Okay, cool. Because I can't hear shit.
I don't think you're supposed to hear shit regardless.
That aluminum on your head is blocking the sound waves.
I mean, we did warn them.
I'm going to reload real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, yeah. So Tom, all right. So let me. I don't think I still have YouTube open. Let me see here.
I'm just gonna.
I have to prepare dinner because it is my turn this time. Enjoy your show, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Ron. You be easy, baby.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey,
now I just want to say this. Now, if we're going someplace with some sort of crazy report. It always happens when you bring on the eyewitness. The shit goes down. It gets kind of funny. Big brother moving shit. Telling you,
it's the government that's got your sound censored here, Tom.
I can hear you now. I can hear you.
All right. So
Tom, can't see you though.
Tom's been out in beautiful sunny San Diego for the past week, and he drove home a few days ago. And you left San Diego. You're driving through Arizona, and it was the middle of the night. What time was this? When
it had to be, I'm guessing, probably about 10 o'clock at night, 10:15. I was coming from. I was in between Yuma and Gila Bend. If anybody's familiar with Route 8, okay, and Yuma has military. Marine base. Marine Air Base. Mm-hmm. So as I'm driving down the mountain from Yuma, I see in the distance these 2 orange lights. Now I'm thinking helicopters, okay, flying in formation. And as I keep driving, they're getting bigger, and I'm like, those ain't freaking helicopters because they're not moving. Now I wanted to pull over like as soon as I can, but you got trucks flying by like 80 miles an hour. So I went to the next exit. I got off, pulled into the back of the parking lot where it's kind of dark. And all of a sudden, the freaking sky just lights up. with 3 orange balls. Like, you know.
You guys see the picture?
Did you guys? Did you see the picture?
Are you seeing it right now? Because I'm sharing
No.
the screen.
No.
Oh, you motherfucker. Well, this show went straight to shit, didn't it?
So anyway, so I see these lights in the sky, and then all of a sudden, man, this pickup truck pulls in behind me, and this black dude gets out. He comes running towards me. He's in a Marine uniform, and he's like, "Are you fucking looking at what I'm looking at?" And I'm kind of like playing dumb. I'm like, "What are you looking at?" He goes, "Exactly what you're looking at." And I was like, "So is that from the base?" He goes, "That ain't from the base." He goes, "That's over the Mexican desert." And all of a sudden, the lights went out, you know, in the sky. And then they came back on again, and the clouds were in front of it, and it was pulsing, like getting brighter and darker, brighter and darker. And then all of a sudden, up in there was like one here, and one here, right? One up here, and all of a sudden, this one starts lowering, and you can see like a squiggly chemtrail from it, and the one up here, all of a sudden, like had to be maybe 10 or 12 lights around it, like a diamond shape, and then they started to expand. I mean, shit, fucking hair. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this shit.
I have the pictures. I don't know why I can't get the fucking thing to load.
Yeah, it was insane. And you know, then all of a sudden they pulsed, and the one that had the like smoke thing just fucking went woo straight up, and the other two just like faded out, and that was it. And I was like, this is fucked up. You know, I mean, I've seen, you know, what was that comet years ago, Hale-Bopp?
Yep.
You know, the one, you know,
I remember that song. That was the twins, right? Bop.
The Hale
Hanson.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's what you're talking about. Never mind.
Yeah.
Maurice.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I saw that, you know, matter of fact, on the same freeway going towards California, but this actually freaked me out, you know. And my son used to travel with me all the time, and we used to say all the time when we'd be out in the desert, and when we pull over, look up, you see millions and billions of stars, and I always used to say, man, wouldn't that be fucking awesome if we saw a UFO, you know? And when I saw this, I'm fucking calling him and I'm texting him. And unfortunately, he had to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Can you see this?
yeah,
Yes.
All right, so Tom, let me show you this. This is a San Diego TV station right here. This looks like the pictures that you sent me.
They always say, look to the skies. You might find something you're not.
What's the date on that? Is
That lady's like 1,003 years old.
Monday night, seen across San Diego.
They're just appearing.
Tijuana that left everyone with the same question. What is that? ABC 10 News reporter Sofia Hernandez talked to people who witnessed that spectacle and uncovers what the lights could really be.
This was something different. It just was, and it felt something different too.
Natasha Reichert and her mother, Dawn, were taking a
TV.
late-night stroll when they saw 2 pulsating lights in the sky.
That's it, right there.
That's exactly what you sent me
They
in the
raced
picture.
back to their perch that overlooks La Jolla. They compared the lights to a plane, a boat, and were unsure of what it could be.
And these were coming back and moving different directions, and then all of a sudden getting clustered together. And it was definitely not of this world.
The lights could be seen all across San Diego, even from Federico Burin's home in Rosarito, Mexico.
It caught my attention, and I decided to start recording this to analyze it later.
Federico says he thought it had to do with the military.
I'm very realistic. I don't believe in those conspiracy theories or anything like that. You know, I just want an explanation to find out what's going on.
While others say the flashing lights that stayed in the sky for roughly 20 minutes can't be explained.
Realistically, if they were flares, you would see them flickering. These were not flickering. They were not moving, and there was a light breeze. So if that was a flare, they would be moving.
The San Diego Fire Department told ABC 10 News that the flares could be seen 5 miles offshore. They believe the orange glow was flares. The Coast Guard told ABC 10 News they believe the Navy was conducting flare training with expired flares.
Yeah, that's
Coast Guard spokesperson said
flare
the reason
training
stayed in the sky
Well, I will say this, the distance that it was away from where I was, I would guess was probably about 20 miles. Okay. And I said to the Marine guy, I was like, dude, like maybe it's something in the mountains. He goes, no, he goes, those are way above the mountains. He said, because I saw the silhouette of the mountains when I was driving up. He goes, they were above it. And I was like, no shit. And he goes, where that is uninhabitable Mexican desert. He says, military.
Trump is going to build a much bigger fucking wall when he becomes president again now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to have to.
Space Force.
Yeah, it was
Space Force.
I got to take my cap off, man. My head's sweating like crazy. There we go.
So did they just vanished and that was it? They were gone, or you dipped?
No, I waited for them to come back and light up, and they just were gone. They were gone, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here, man. I got to drive to freaking Florida.
You literally scared the aliens off, huh?
Yeah, I must have. Well,
Wow.
I'll tell you, it was freaky. Like I will think twice now about pulling over in the middle of the desert when there's like nothing around. But I can't tell you how many times I've pulled over to take a leak, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and you don't see anything. That ain't happening no more. I'll bring a bottle and pee in a freaking bottle if I have to. I ain't stopping.
Well, I saw the pictures. Tom sent them to me, and they look exactly like what was on that news clip. So
yeah, it was. But the thing that really blew me away though was when all of a sudden that like those bunch of lights around the one object up in the corner, and then they just started expanding and stopped. And then the one down here just like, bing! And I was like, they ain't no fucking flare, This is like something that's, unexplainable. So, and I even looked to see if there was something on Google, couldn't find shit, which sucks. It would have been something to have something to confirm what I saw, So.
Well, we appreciate the scoop and the Bleacher Brothers breaking news story there, Tom.
Eyewitness.
Hey, anybody know how the Padres did tonight?
They play later, Tom.
Play tomorrow night.
California.
Tomorrow night.
Oh,
Or tonight. Later.
They lost last night, and they play tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I don't think they're going to get that far. So
against Clayton.
Yeah, we did baseball. We did baseball hours ago, but yeah. But that's pretty much a wrap for tonight. I want to thank everybody, Tom, for your alien story.
Hey.
Duncan, as always, make sure you check out Dunkin Dad's catalog of shows. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Pacific and Alien Time, if you're in the Mexican desert hovering over the mountain. And then Friday night, we got a star-studded lineup. The Tony Bruno Show and Tony and Robin, from what I understand, will be back. Did you get that?
Cool.
They will be back on Friday night. They got their internet back turned on. The wheels are falling off the Phillies bus right now. It's 3-0 or 4-0 right now.
3-0.
3-0. So Tony Bruno Show, Friday night, 7 p.m. on No Filter, and then immediately followed by Dunkin Dad. You know what? I'm not plugging any of your cohorts because I didn't see any of them once again in the audience here tonight. But what pissed me off is I went on Ron's show yesterday, and Play Action was on Ron's show. So
he was.
He was. So he's in my shit. And I go to watch their retro shows all the time, and they cancel them all the time.
That's because he's running a Play Action.
I guess. Maybe that's what it is. I'm calling a penalty. But
Looking over here, we're going this way.
Joke.
He's showing it, and then he takes it away, and he takes it off.
Right. That's right.
Into the night, Friday nights after Tony Bruno. Like I said, I was a guest on it a few weeks back, and it was the most fun I had in a really, really, really long time. Ted Brooks, every week you can see Ted Brooks. Maybe not for the whole episode, maybe for the whole episode, but Ted has given us nothing but winners so far. Get his exclusive Bleacher Brothers college football lock every single
Utah money line, in case anyone missed it, against USC.
Utah money line.
Pac-12.
Ted is 2-0 in the past 2 weeks with us. Check them out, thesportsprofits.com, Sports Profits on YouTube, Sports Profits _ on Instagram. Appreciate you being here. And of course, one of my oldest buddies, Nick the Flick. Depending on what night you tune in, the dude will be wearing a different hat every single time you tune in. Watch next week, he'll have a Dolphins hat on. We'll see.
Oh, never.
No. That'd be a sign of distress.
Oh, I hate that song. It gives me hemorrhoids.
Yeah, but I got the club mix version right here, man.
The Pitbull version.
Yeah. That's good if you got the strippers around, and that's a good one right there. But no.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
And the consensus was the Eagles this weekend, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
So. Eagles, and I'm throwing a little extra in there. Green Bay Packers on the spread.
Packers.
Hey, Green Bay, but hopefully the Jets are going to come in there and throw a little salt on that, but I don't think so. Aaron Rodgers is
what's
too
the
smart.
spread in that game? Does anybody know right now what the spread is?
7.5.
7.5. The Jets are getting 7.5 in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Jets are going to cover. That's my lock. I only give fucking locks. I've never, ever given a pick that's been wrong. Somebody tell me when I've been wrong.
Perfect so far this season.
The Jets are going to cover. They cover the 7.5.
Thank you there, AJ.
Good night.
Good night.
Later, fellas. BBSN, baby, on No Filter.
Captain Ron and Rockin' Reese do the, what do they do tomorrow? The last call. The last call tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's it. We'll be back next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That's it, guys. Everybody.
Later, man. Y'all have a good night. Go, Bleacher Brothers.
Joe, go get him. Joe, go hit him. Get him from the back line, get him from the front line, Joe, go get him.